Jill
Jill
Stella.
Brooklyn, Vienneau.
Nice to meet you. So we wanted to chat a little bit about the difference between cockiness and confidence. Is there a difference? Let's find out.
Being full of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Being full of love for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that we need to begin to celebrate.
That's something that I think we got all wrong when we've been saying, "Oh, she's so full of herself."
Yeah.
She's so into herself. She loves herself so much. As if that's a bad thing.
Why is it a bad thing? It's not. It's such a good thing.
Yeah, because you're going to be spending the rest of your life with you. I hope you love yourself. I hope you come to that point in your life where you're like, yeah, I'm into myself. Who else are you going to be into?
Yeah, it's a special gift when you can kind of transmute the judgment that we've all placed on people being confident and embracing their bodies and the fullness of their expression and being wild and free and untamed and badass and being unapologetic about all of those things. Like when we can really start to celebrate people who are in that embodied place, then like there's this level of permission that's granted for us all to just start to be in celebration of ourselves
and each other, and see ourselves in each other. And we are able to talk about it from this place because we've done so much work over the years, and because we've been on the other side of it, where like, yeah, it's easy for us to say this right now, that we love our lives, we love our bodies, we have love for ourselves, but that was not
We've done the work,
case.
And we felt we felt the contrast of self-deprecation and self-loathing. I have, anyways, personally, and body shame.
Yeah, and I think all of us go through that to some degree because it's unavoidable in our society where we've been subjected to what an image should look like, what you should look like in the media. And I think now is the time where a full spectrum of bodies are being celebrated online, and we get to be a part of that movement.
We get to be a part of the movement
of
embracing the body, embracing the booty.
Yeah.
So what would it look like for you to be full of yourself and to not carry a judgment around what that means? Because it's been associated with ego and people having an inflated ego. And I think when we really root down into the definition of what ego actually is, we can understand more deeply that there have been all of these like constructions of beliefs that have been created in society that are really like misunderstood. Like I feel like the term ego and what it actually represents and like how it serves as a functionality in our lives as humans is heavily misunderstood. And so when we can learn that like we can nurture and create a really healthy relationship with our ego, because it's the part of us that is logical and rational and does its job in keeping us safe.
And I love that, we're all attracted to confident people. And I think that that's one of the reasons why that is, I believe, is because people are full of themselves. And when someone's full of themselves, they don't need anything from you. So there's not that needy energy of like, you need to complete me. Like, imagine going on a date with someone and they like are so into you that it's a little bit overwhelming because you think there's like this agenda, rather than surrendering to what is and being two people full of themselves coming together and amplifying that. When someone's just lacking that integrity of their self-love and they're using other people or external factors to get it, then it's creepy. It has that creepy energy.
There's work to be done in that space. Yeah, absolutely. And that need for external validation, I think that there's a lot of talk in the personal development and spirituality space that speaks to us as humans craving external validation in a way that has almost been perceived as negative. And I think it's so fucking innately natural for us as humans to need to be validated. Like, our one core need is to feel a sense of belonging and a sense of love. And I think that there's a really healthy way about going about navigating the way that we receive validation, and when we can be in community and in connection with people who are doing the same work as us, who can celebrate us in our messiness and our perceived imperfections, that gives us permission to celebrate that within ourselves, and we can really start to harness this inward energy of being able to look within and find the validation from that place to recreate this sense of innate wholeness that has been there all along. We've just had external things that have been like stripping us from our power and disconnecting us from this feeling of just being fucking whole within ourselves. Ooh. And so that validation is already there. We already know our power.
You know it. Yes. And that to me is the difference between cockiness, for lack of a better word, and confidence, is that cockiness has that like agenda where you're putting on a front so that people can accept you, or that so that you can receive validation to prove your worth in the world. Versus confidence, you ain't got nothing to prove. Like, you are just you and celebrating you so that others can celebrate themselves and see that within you, and it's just a beautiful circle of love.
Yeah, and I think cockiness really, there's a lot of layers, because I feel like if you or we are interpreting or assuming someone to be cocky, I feel like there's also an opportunity there for you to look at your own trigger and see what they're maybe mirror reflecting back to you in terms of their own cockiness, if you're projecting a judgment onto them. However, if we can witness without judgment and just radical compassion ourselves and other people in this place of like cockiness, we can hold space for knowing that those humans who are in that space of inflated ego or being cocky or being full of themselves is not actually really rooted in true self-love, and is often, it's the opposite. It's a reflection of their own inherent insecurity.
Whoa.
Right?
Yeah, that's next level.
Yeah.
And I love what you said there, because there's no line where you're like, okay, now I'm confident and I've like taken care of my ego and I'm good. Like, we're all working through the dance of it, of being in integrity with our egos and with our self-expression and not needing validation. And I think we can have compassion for ourselves, that we're consciously making an effort to fully express ourselves while staying grounded at the same time. And that it's a lifelong work or dance or play to navigate your ego, and it's fun.
So I think takeaway tips from this video: 1, monitor your own projections or your own judgments about other people who are in the place of cockiness or confidence, and see where that falls, because I'm sure, and I'm just spitting here, but I would imagine that you and I probably trigger people on social media because of the level of comfortability we have in our bodies, and it might be received or interpreted as being cocky or full of ourselves. Yeah. And I just want to like set it straight.
Oh my gosh.
And give permission and give all of you permission to be in that embodied space too.
Yeah. And to have fun with it. You never know where people are coming from. Like, what a victory that is for somebody. to express themselves in that way, because you don't know what they've been through. You don't know the shame that they've had with their body and what that means to them to get to that space. So I love that compassion piece.
And there's no right or wrong way to
express
yourself. Yeah. And then this is a whole other topic of conversation, but like just desexualizing like nakedness and sensual expression and liberation in our bodies, especially as women, that comes with this inevitable judgment that we are just like re-sexualizing ourselves or re-traumatizing ourselves, or like staying within this cycle of unhealed sexual suppression coming out in the form of, you know, woundedness in some way. I think that we all have our own experiences with our past, the ways that we expressed ourselves sexually, or the ways that we interacted sexually in the past, and the ways that we've existed in relationship to our body too, sexually related or not. And there's no right or wrong way to do this type of work and to heal and to come into a place of empowerment with your body. Like, I think if it resonates with you and it feels delicious and juicy and empowering and good, then be in celebration of yourself and allow yourself to explore what it actually feels like to be unapologetic about loving on yourself.
Yeah, shaking things up. That's why I love shaking my booty and sharing it, because I love shaking things up. I love it, not social media not being this place that's so freaking serious. Like, ooh, we're business owners. We have to be like super straight edge with our content and professional. And yeah, it's fun to
ethical.
It's fun to just, it's more
break
fun.
The rules.
It's more fun to shake a booty than to judge a booty.
It's more fun to shake a booty than to judge a booty.
Yeah,
and our butts are not burdens.
Yeah, they're
blessings.
You guys get ready. We got so much content coming your way.
It's coming.
We got all the taglines.
And be okay with like being turned on. This is going in a bit of a different direction, but like living your life turned on as often as possible, because like what that actually entails energetically, being turned on, means like having something inside of you lit up and activated, right? It's like a light is being turned on. Yeah. So when you're turned on, that doesn't always have to translate into like you wanted to, you know, get down.
Yeah, it could be you.
What else do you want to get down with? Like
making art and activating your creative powers, because it's all in there.
It's all pleasure-centered, centric.
Yeah.
Pleasure focused.
It's very fluid, movement, creativity.
So be turned on as often as possible.
Yeah, I love that.
And create the foundation for yourself to create like a pleasure practice that will allow you to be turned on as often as possible. Because when you're activated in that space, your sacral chakra, like your sexual center, your pleasure center is open, and that allows you the spaciousness to receive and manifest the gifts that are like in your vortex. They're like ready. Like the universe just wants you to claim it, and you don't have to like force and push and rush the process. All you need to do is like allow and invite. It's like, especially as women, like our sexual centers are receptive, right? Like we receive the penetration from the universe of all of this energetic force, and then it gets like fertilized and cultivated, and then we birth and create. And this is a place where we can create so much magic, like limitless potential to birth anything that we crave and long for and desire and dream of.
Ooh, and that's what I'm seeing here at Brooklyn's Pleasure Palace here. So reach out to Brooklyn for sure. And as always, we are here to be your permission slips if you need us to. We're here. Reach out if you want to activate some of these powers within you, because we're all in this together.
We're in it together.
Super fun.
Thanks everybody for listening.
Be full of yourself.
Be full of yourself.
You got you.
You got you. And your booty's not a burden. It's a blessing.
Babe.
It's a blessing.